Good morning, students. So, our next chapter, the old clock shop. Okay? Actually, this is a short story about the interaction of people and how festive season brings well-being to them. The main character of this story was an old, deaf, and dumb person named Ray. That means this person cannot hear, even he is not able to speak. He repairs watches in his shop in Salt Lake City, USA. He also purchases watches from people who need money. So the main character of the story is a person named Ray who is not able to listen as well as speak. He is having his own watch shop in which he used to sell the watches, even he used to repair the watches, and sometime he purchased the old watch from the person to help with the money. So let's start with the story. It was Christmas Eve. The shoppers were going home. However, the lights were still burning in the old clock shop. Its owner was dear. His name was Ray. He was working on a clock. It was a scene of an Christmas Eve. Everything was closed, but the shop of this Ray was still open and he was working on a clock. The working being over, Ray stood up. Just then, two men entered his shop. One of them was in his 20s, the other man was about 50 years of age. Ray looked at them. After some time, when he finished his work, he is going to close the shop. He saw that two men entered in his shop. One was in his 20s. This means that the age of first person may be about 20 years and the other is 50 years. The young man remained at the door. The old man came to the counter. There was no friendliness in his eyes. No friendliness in his eyes means by seeing that person, Ray recognized that something is wrong. जैसे हम जब किसी को मिलते हैं तो we used to smile and say hello. That person is not having that smile on his face. You can say he is very rude, unfriendly. This made Ray think that the visitor was not only a shopper. Ray offered him a notepad and a pencil. By making signs, Ray told him that he was deaf and deaf. So when the Ray realized that the person is not friendly, that means he has not come here on the shop to buy something. Something is wrong. He just offered the person a notepad and a pen. Why he offered that? Because he is dumb and dumb. He offered the person so that he can write whatever he wants. The surprised man turned back and said something to his young companion. When the person come to know that the Ray is deaf and dumb, he go back to his companion, his friend who is standing on the door, and say something to him. This seemed to give the old man an idea. He showed his wristwatch and wrote on the paper, "How much will you give me for it?" Ray saw that it was a cheap watch, yet he felt it could help both of them to get out of a bad condition. In this sense, it had great power. So he asked the man, "How much do you need for it?" The reply came back, "Whatever it's worth." So they got an idea. the person just show his watch to the Ray and wrote on the paper, how much will you give for this? That means the person want either to sell his watch or उसको रख के कुछ पैसे लेना चाहता था. And he knew that it is a very cheap watch. So he asks, how much do you need for it? Ray asks how much you want. The person replied, whatever it's got. That means both of them were aware that the watch is very cheap and उसके बदले में बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं मिल सकता है. Ray gave the man a $50 note. The man was thankful. It was at this movement that the unfriendly face of the visitor became truly friendly. So they decided something, and the Ray gave $50 note to the person in return to that watch. And when the Ray gave that money to the person, his unfriendly face turned into friendly. That means while receiving that note, that person might be smile at Ray, means दोस्त बन गए थे, because Ray helped the person in the difficult situation. Both of them knew that the watch was not worth that much. Before leaving, the man wrote, I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can. Merry Christmas. I told you earlier that both of the parties know that the watch is not cost that much, but the Ray had given $50 to the person to help both of them to come out of the bad situation. So while going, the person write on the notepad that I will come to pick it up as soon as I came. Whenever I got the money, I will come and get my watch back. Merry Christmas. But both of them knew that they will not come. Actually, the intention of that two person to come to the shop is to rob the shop. And Ray also realized that these two are not shopper, they are thief. But when the person know about the condition of the Ray, that he is dumb and dumb, at the time they got an idea and they just gave their watch which cost nothing, and Ray gave them $50 and saved his shop. Thus the story ended peacefully. As if pleased by this situation, all the clock in the shop rang to announce the half hour. All the three men present there felt the message. The message was peace on earth, goodwill towards all. So at once all the clock just rang, and all the three persons present in the shop realized that they all have done something good. Peace on, they created the peace on the earth. Why? अगर वो चोरी करता तो problems होती, but with peaceful they have solved the situation. So by peace we can do anything. So what is the moral of the story, children? The moral of the story is, the value we learn from this story is peace on earth by doing a kind act instead of any violence. So here they have taken a peaceful decision, action, and they have created the peace rather than violence. उनको पैसा चाहिए था, वो आए peacefully, उन्होंने लिया, कुछ violence नहीं किया, and they returned to their house. So in this way we should always be calm with the mind, do the peaceful things. Thank you. Have a nice time.